Hello everyone, this is the second part of our video 9 on SD1. Um, in this video I'm going to try to do some zero-touch provisioning. We'll use a TFTP server. But initially what we're going to have to do is, because the certificate registration and all that stuff, we'll have to do it later, but we got to be able to SSH into the box in order to do that, right? And in order to do that, I may have to we're gonna create first the TFTP server, right? And then from the TFTP server, we're gonna serve the running configuration to the C edge. So what we're doing is we're gonna onboard site 400, right? And we're gonna make this VPN 30 maybe. Okay, hold on one second, let me click out of that. We're gonna make this VPN 30. So we're gonna do, say, VPN 30. Oops, what the hell did I do? Okay, we're gonna do VPN 30, and I'm gonna say user 8, right? For something like that. So in this case, what we'll do is we're gonna turn this DNS server here into a TFTP. It's gonna serve. It's gonna be a TFTP server. We're gonna serve a running configuration over to the C edge, and then we'll access the C edge from this DNS server. So first, let me, because I don't want to run an out-of-band management link from here to there, right? Or to this switch, right? I don't. So I want to jump from DNS over to C edge. I'll use it as my jump box, as my TFTP server, and then we'll write a configuration. We'll do a configuration that we'll send over to the C edge, okay? And we'll see how it works, okay? This is the first time I'm doing this in a lab environment, at least in this lab environment, SD-WAN particularly. So we'll see how that works, right? One thing we may have to do, right? We may have to also, when we ship the box out, right? Because this is a, let me close everything else because we might not need everything else. Hold on one second. So we'll close this. So one thing that we may have to do, right? I know that the Catalyst 8000, or let's say no, and yes, Catalyst 8000s would be they will have DHCP enable on the interface, so they should be able to, you know, if you feed them a DHCP IP, or you configure a DHCP server, or you feed IP, you should be able to let me see, you should be able to auto IP the device. So it's connected to, let's see how we're gonna do this. It's connected to 1. So I mean okay, it's shut down. Let's say you have the box, right, and you ship it to a remote site in a different geographical location. Okay, how do you tell the router, hey, I need you to go here to this reach out to this DHCP server, get an IP address, a default route, and then I would send you, and we're gonna send you a running configuration via a TFTP server. Okay, what about that? All right, so let's say this box is actually in my office, right? I would do IP address DHCP, and want IP address DHCP, right? And I'm gonna say no shut, right? And then I would say also IP DHCP. What about that? So now we have an interface that would seek a route via DHCP. Oops. I mean an IP address, via DHCP. And we have a route to DHCP. Okay. We have nothing in the flash except for some system files, or okay. So how do we make it so that when this comes online or is able to reach to a DHCP server, it is going to start getting the running config, right? And at what point do I load that running config, right? Because I want to be able to load this file into the running configuration so that the device becomes accessible or inherit a new configuration file, so you can directly talk to the vManage, the vBun, and the vSmart. Okay. I'm gonna think about this. All right, so what I could do is boot system. I think it's boot flash. What is this, a flash or boot flash? Let me see. Boot flash, flash, or boot system TFTP. So you want it TFTP. So we're gonna do admin at 192.168.1.15, right? 15 is our DNS server. So that's 192.168.1.15, right? And then we're gonna call it config file. Okay. So no. That's not a boot. That's not a. Oops, I made a mistake. Hold on. I'm trying to think about how I'm gonna do this. Yeah, that's the image. We don't want to do the image, right? We can feed the information via DHCP. We can feed it via DHCP. Trying to think about this. Yeah. Okay, so how do we automate this process? Let me think about this. So what we'll do is, because it would be like a copy, something like this. I think it's copy TFTP, right? Admin at 192.168.1.15, and then config file, and then running configuration, something like that, right? Obviously config file doesn't exist yet, okay, but what we'll do is we can write an EM, embedded event manager, or what about that? We'll do an EM, right? So let's see what is the, we're gonna capture a log, a specific log. Okay, so let's do this. So let's go to the MPLS router, and then we'll say that this is connecting to a cloud, and this cloud provides DHCP, right? Because I don't want to create another node and I'm lazy. So we're gonna do IP DHCP excluded address. Then we'll say 172.200.5.1. We're gonna exclude that because that's my gateway. PDHCP pool. We're gonna say site 400. I believe that's what it is, right? So we're gonna move this up here. Site 400. Let me reduce this a little bit. Site 400. Okay. We're gonna get site 400. That's site 400. And then we're gonna say network, right? 192.168.5.0, is that where I did it? Yeah, 255.255.255, and it's a block of 8. Okay? And then we're going to say default is 192.168.5.1. Alright? We can give it other information, but by now we should have an IP address. I believe that this thing is going to try to IP itself, right? Via DHCP. Let me see. Show run. Section IP DHCP. Okay, so I should anytime now. So we created a DHCP pool. Oh, it's wrong information. Yep. Well, that's not good. That's never gonna work, right? I don't know why I didn't want it. So we're gonna reinitiate this IP DHCP pool site 400. We're gonna say network 172.205.0 255.255.255 block of 8, and then we're gonna do the default 172.205.1, and that should be enough. Let's see what happens. This guy should inherit an IP address anytime now. Let me make sure that I got that right information. IP DHCP. Nothing yet. Interesting. 172.205.0, 172.205.0/29, and my gateway is this one. Let me see. It's show IP interface brief G03. Show IP interface brief G03. Yeah, that's correct, and it's up. Let's see. Interesting. Okay, there it is. So if you guys, you see this log, right? I want to capture this in my EM, right? So what we'll do is we're gonna say, hey, event. Let me see. I think it's manager. We're gonna call it. It's an applet, right? We're gonna say auto config. Why not? And then here we can say something action, right? Add or modify an action statement description. We're gonna say event, right? That's we want to do an event, right? An event will be a log, a syslog. Let me see. This was what severity. Let me go back. It's what maybe informational, or let's make it match pattern, right? And then we'll just paste this. That's the pattern. I think you may have to put quotes. Do I? Don't recall, but let's try it this way, right? And then we're gonna say action 1. We're gonna say 1 like this, right? And then we're gonna say pen break CLI. It's been a while. Command, right? And then we're gonna say I think configure terminal. Oops. Maybe I have to put quotes. Let me see. Configure terminal. Yeah. Action 1.2 CLI command, and then we're gonna open quote and close quote. We're gonna say copy, right? Let me grab that up here. Okay, where is it? This. We're gonna copy that, right? And then I'm gonna say running. We're gonna say running config. All right. Oops. I think that also this guy I have to put it in quote. I'm pretty sure I have to put it in quote. I don't recall, but I think that's the case. But okay, let's see what it is. Event. Okay, so we're gonna match this pattern. We're gonna configure terminal, and we're gonna copy TFTP to running config. Okay, so imagine that in your office right? I mean on site, you know, you basically configure the interface, right? Let's see the IP route if I have an IP route. Yeah, I have a quad 0. Perfect. Yeah. So let's say you configure the interface to be DHCP. You give it a route to get your route from DHCP, right? And then you plug in this event, this event manager, right? Applet, right? So what it will do is, as soon as it grabs an IP, right? It would let me capture this configuration. What it'll do is it'll capture this IP address, right? And then it would auto config itself. Okay, it would get the DHCP information auto. And I'm sure you can give it through DHCP services too. And we'll do a video on that. But let me copy this for now and go under C Edge, right? We're gonna go under config, and you know, right now I can't. Let's fetch this configuration, right? If I fetch this configuration, you'll grab it, right? And then next time we reboot, we can just load this configuration, right? Right, because it's gonna be written. This configuration is gonna be written. Okay. All right. So for now, let me think about this. Okay. All right. I think we've done what we needed before I reboot this thing. Okay. Let's shut it down right now, because once I shut it down, we're gonna lose the IP configuration. Okay, let's shut down this box. Okay, perfect. So what we'll do is we'll go back, right, to this MPLS router. Actually, let's go to the DNS. This is who I want to use for my, let me see if I can ping it, my TFTP server. Okay, I can, which is good. So let's log on to this guy. And then this guy needs to be configured to receive. Let me see if I have SSH, I enable management to this device, right? Because I want to write a file that I'm going to send it over here to this DNS node. Nothing. Okay. So what we'll do is log in local, right? Transport input SSH. This is all standard. Let's do pre-15 because, right, keep it consistent. We're gonna do right, and then we'll do IP domain name. I think it's home lab, and then crypto keygen RSA mod 2048, all the standard stuff, right? Because we have this 6.145. That's how I'm gonna send it over, and you guys will see how I'll do it. It's pretty easy, right? Show IP interface. I think it's G00. There, I have this IP, right? I'm gonna send it from my local device, right? Because this is on my LAN. What am I? So I have configure username. I have crypto. Let me try to SSH into myself and see if that works. I want to make sure it's enabled. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we should be okay. All right. Next is we want to write a file. Okay, so let's write the file that we'll use for this exercise. Okay, let me pull a notepad. Okay, so let me make sure everybody can see this. Okay, perfect. So all right, let me make this a little bigger. So you have to in a C edge needs to be converted, and in order to convert it, you have to go in configuration mode. So it would be something like this, right? So I wonder if we should convert it before we send it out, or think about this. Let think about this. Let's try. It doesn't hurt. So we'll do, so to convert the, any Catalyst 9000, 8000 into SD-WAN, you have to do config transaction, right? Then once you do that, you may have to reboot, I believe. You may have to reload, or you may not. Let's try this. I don't recall. So we'll do host name. We're gonna call it C-Edge, right? Site 400. What about that? All right, and then we'll commit. Okay. For every configuration you put in, you have to commit, right? And then next will be my interface will be 1 because that's what I'm configuring, right? We're gonna no shut. We're gonna put a description, right? And the description will be per se. Think about this. This description will say connect to. I think it's what I don't recall. G03, right? G03 that MPLS. Okay. And then you have your IP address configuration. So you will be 192.168.5. That. Oh no. Why do I keep doing this? 172. I think it's 200.5.2 to 55255.255.248. Right. And then we're going to exit and we're going to commit. Right. Every time. Right. Now we're gonna enable SD-WAN, right? You're gonna go back into interface G1. Let me G1. Oops, don't know how I got there. G1, and then we're gonna enable tunnel interface, right? And then we're gonna say, hey, this is color base internet, right? And then restrict, because remember we had that enable, right? And then we have to enable all services, right? So let's go back to, for example, the headquarters, and then we'll grab its service configuration. Okay. So this would be something like that, right? I want to copy all that. Okay. And then probably gonna need a route, I assume, right? Let's put this here. We'll put the route later. Let's do OSPF. I want to enable this OSPF because it might be OSPF that, because EIGRP, I don't see EIGRP in here, but well, okay. So once you've done that, right, just like you have to create, right, so it will be exit, right, and also exit again because you were in tunnel, then exit the interface. Then you have to go into interface, right? We're going to create a tunnel. We say tunnel 1, and then we're going to say IP unnumbered, just like for point-to-point link G1, and then you're going to say tunnel source G1. Then you're going to do tunnel mode. This is, you know, generally you have MGRE, or we're going to do SD-WAN, I believe, and then we'll exit again. Okay. And let me think about this. What else do we need to do? We need a route because we're no longer going to have a route, right? We're going to do an IP route to, we're going to do a quad 0 to 192.205.1. Okay. And then we're going to commit, and then we're going to exit. Let's see if I commit it. We're going to commit here. So commit, I'm going to SD-WAN. I think we may have to commit. I'm going to G1 tunnel interface. Color B is restrict. We're going to do exit. No, we're going to commit. Then we're gonna exit. Then we're gonna do IP route. We're gonna commit, exit. We're gonna do pin number, exit, and then we're gonna commit this one too. Right, and that will stand up the tunnel. Right. One thing I'm not saying here is, I think, the encapsulation. So we may have to throw the encapsulation, the IPsec encapsulation in here. Did I capture that? There it is. I need that. IPsec encapsulation. I need that. So we'll put this on top here because we need that, right? We need to encapsulate IPsec. Okay, let's go back one more time. So we're going to call it config transaction, host name, commit, commit, SDWAN, commit, and turn it to commit, exit, commit. Okay, perfect. Think so. Let's try it. If not, we'll redo the exercise, and I'm going to save this. Give it a second. I'm going to save it under, I'm going to call it config. I mean, you guys are not seeing this, I'm not sharing that part, right? We're going to call file.txt, right? Something like that. All right. Config file already exists. I'm going to say, yeah, we'll call it config file.txt. Okay, so this is where I'm going to share my, so boom. All right, so you do SCP, this verify that SCP is enabled. If not, then I have to, you know, download, or I mean, actually enable OpenSSH, and then, or, you know, there's documentation that helps you enable SSH. Okay, so I need to find the file. It's under download, I believe. Let me see there. Yeah, I have a lot of data. But let's see, what I'm looking for is a 1 second. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna do there, and then I think I can grab something, right? Not so familiar with, you know what? Let's do copy, right? PWD, yep. Copy. I'm gonna grab this, right? Then we're gonna do that config. It should be config file. Yep, that's it. And then we'll send it via SCP, right? Admin, right? At, I think it's 6145. Let me see. 6145. Yep, that's what it is. 6145. 6145. Okay, we'll send it 6145. Then we'll call it config file, right? .txt or config file, doesn't matter. Let's see what happens. Oh, what happened? Oh, I know what it is, because it's Windows. It doesn't want a /. Why? Cannot find drive A with the name SCP. Is it SCP? Yeah, it's SCP. Oops, it's not copy. Oh my god, what a dumb. So it's admin at 192.168.1.15. Okay, and then we're gonna call it config file, right? I think that's what I use, and that should work, I believe, unless I can't reach. Oh, that's wrong IP. 6145, 6145. Okay, yes. Okay, so this is it. Cisco 123, and then you should connection to administrative. Oh, I know why. All right, so let's go back and fix that. So I have to enable SCP, right? IP SCP server or enable, right? Now that should work. Okay, let's do this again one more time. Cisco 123, that should work. Yep, there we go. So the file is being transferred, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys where it is. There, so we're going to look for flash config file. So there we go, and then more. Let's do a more to see what's inside this file. Flash, right, and then it's config file. So it should be the same text configuration we've created, right, for this. Okay, so let's start the vEdge again. Hopefully, let's just open this because I have the configuration. So what I could do is I can copy this config, right? Things that I should have done probably would be to say no shot, maybe. Well, it's not shot, perfect. So what we'll do is trying to find where to start my copy. We're gonna start here. Why not? We'll copy all this, and then once the node is up, let's go in it. So you guys have to understand if this is a virtual appliance, right? So if it was an actual physical appliance, I could drop this configuration with, you know, the DHCP configuration on the interface, the interface that will connect our circuit to, and then I can put this embedded event manager that's gonna trigger as soon as I get an IP address, and it's gonna, you know, oh, one thing that we need to do is conf TFTP server, and then we're gonna say flash, right, config file. We have to serve it, okay? Show run TFTP. So because we're using this as the TFTP server, it should reach back here and get that TFTP information. Now we should have, I should be able to ping endpoints, at least the gateway, this gateway. Yep, so it's reachable, right? So as soon as this edge comes back online, right, we can copy this configuration and drop it in there, and it should reach and try to use TFTP to pull this configuration from this remote server, which is the DNS node, right, supposedly. And then once it does that, it should convert using the config transaction, right? And then it should inherit the rest of the configuration. Hopefully that's gonna work, right? Now, there may be a timeout that may be added to the embedded event manager, because generally it might take a certain while, and if it doesn't get an IP address within the appropriate window, right, you might just say, hey, you know, you might time out, and the event manager will never kick, right? I've seen that. I have a friend of mine who is a dual CCIE that him and I encountered this issue, and he ended up doing some research, and he ended up finding out that you can't just build the event manager without setting this timeout window within the event manager applet configuration, right? So anyways, if that doesn't work, we'll have to set that timeout to be higher than the default, if that makes sense, right? Let's see where we are here. Okay, all right, still booting. All right, so shrine DHCP v4. It's got an IP address. Okay, that's great. Looks like okay, let's see what happens. Let me see if TFTP started here. PNP, plug and play, domain name not found. Let me do a debug here. Debug TFTP. Debug IPTFTP maybe? No. TFTP. Events. Packets. Alright. So what should have happened? I should console debugging. Interesting. Let's see. See if the event manager is no. Okay, so it does not have the embedded event. Yeah, that's not good because I already have an IP, so we may have to restart this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shut down this interface. That won't work, okay? Because it's a lab environment, so I don't have much control over. So we're gonna restart this thing, right? Stop. Restart. Okay, so what's gonna happen is I don't want it to get an IP. I want the event manager to be able to capture. Now in this case the event manager was not in the configuration, so it wouldn't capture that IP. I mean, it wouldn't capture that syslog and say, hey, and trigger the event manager, the embedded event applet, right? The applet wouldn't trigger, right? So what I need to do is no shut NPLS once this is fully booted, right? Right. Once I no shut that, I may have to drop the configuration because it's a virtual appliance. It doesn't look like it's getting this configuration. Normally you would think that because I bootstrapped it, right, using this config applet here, you'd think that, hey, it would auto-config itself with this running configuration. Well, it didn't, right? It didn't. So we'll try this again. And this is the annoying part about a labbing environment. You're gonna work with what you got, right? And you know, let me see. So once I no shut that MPLS, that interface 03, right, connected to site 400, it would, you know, the DHCP server will provide a lease, right? And then once he provides a lease, he's gonna get a syslog saying, hey, DHCP config, whatever the applet, DHCP 6 address assigned, and then you'll capture that, and the event manager applet should auto config, right? So I should pull the configuration via TFTP and send it over to running config. Hopefully that's what's gonna happen. Okay, let's see how far this has gotten. I could pause the video, you know, and then resume, but you know, normally this should be pretty fast, but again, it's an 8000. Might take a second. Okay, there it is. It's almost there. Failed to initialize. Let me see. Okay. Almost there. And again, there's other solutions. You know, you don't have to like use this method, right? This method is okay, but in some environment, right, you can use DHCP. Actually, we could use also DHCP to provide this file, right? I'm sure there's a way to provide. I don't remember what the whole configuration is, but you can do it on a Windows server, you know, using a DHCP services, and you can provide it a file. But we'll see if we can do this on, you know, a virtual appliance like a iOS device or iOS 60 device, and see if I can set up the DHCP to do just that, right? So I'm sure there's a way. I'll try to read documentation to see the other way around, but use DHCP to provide a running configuration to the device, right? And tell it to boot that configuration with that configuration, right? All right, so let's see if I can. Okay, perfect. So let's go in configuration mode. Let's set this to. Yeah, of course it's not going to take the certificate. I should have taken that stuff out. Okay. All right, let's do this. I think I may have messed this up. Hold on. Only thing that I care for would be my DHCP config. Let me do this. Hold on 1 second. So only I care about this right here. Let's just copy that. I don't care about the rest. Oh boy. Okay, let's do this again. Paste that. This is the interface configuration. I need a route, IP route. So in best, like in a common scenario, will be this configuration will be already on the box on power run. It would load this configuration from config start to running. Let me see this timeout I was talking about. It's trigger, interrupt a trigger, maybe delay. All right, we'll give it 30 seconds. Okay. Let's do that. That's it. And then, oh, oops. Alright, and then we'll drop the rest of the configuration in there. So in reality, once you power on, all this should be already on the box. Okay, so let's see the event. Alright. I don't like the fact that it's put this. Don't know if that's gonna make a difference, but let me see if I can rewrite this event manager. So you know what, let's do no. We're gonna say no that, right, and then we'll do it again. We'll start with this trigger delay the 30 seconds, or let's not do a delay, a trigger. Let's say trigger number of occurrence must occur within this period start. Is that, hold on 1 second, let's see if I can set something. Maybe no, that's not it. Action, maybe. Let me see under action. Nope. Event interface, that resource is an MP tag timer. See, countdown, beautiful watchdog countdown. maximum runtime, max run maybe. We're gonna do 60. For watchdog, we're gonna say name of the timer. Limit trigger to one spark given time period. Now we're gonna do time period for watchdog countdown absolute time. I'm gonna say 60. Then we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna drop the rest in there. Paste. There we go. Show run interface G1. That's the interface. Oh, it's shut down. We don't want that, do we? No shut. Right. And then show run section event. Okay. And then let's go to the MPLS router and see. And then we do have to have our copy. Hold on, let me see. I think within the configuration we did say to copy the config from to where is it? We'll do conft or oh yeah, this is the event copy tftp. Yep. All right, we're set. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the MPLS and then we'll router and then we're going to say no shut and see what happens. Okay. Let's see. At this point, what should happen is this interface should, let me see, pull an IP address from the OK did. Where was the event? Was there an event generated for that? Yeah, there was an event. There was an event generated. Go back to DNS and see if there is any attempt of. Interesting. DHCP6 address. Oh, we have a delay or something on the event. Why hasn't it kicked in? Interesting. Let me look at event manager applets Cisco. Let's see one. Maybe I wrote the event wrong. I thought I did, but interesting. It's interesting that it did not take. Should have. Yeah. Yeah. Should have matched that. Maybe I didn't need the quotes. Oh my god, this is slow. What about that? Let's see if I can get something. I guess keep that. So this would be Yeah, I did it right. Oh, did I have to enable first? Yeah, I had to enable first. That probably is why um, it didn't respond. That's very interesting. Let me see this one. I may have needed this command right here. Yeah, let's do this again. All right. So we'll do action 1.0 command and see if that fixes it. Enable, enable, okay. Do show run section event. Oh, why do you need to, oh, I have to get out of it because it's a new command. Yep. So we're gonna do, is it CLI? I think it was CLI. Yes, CLI. Oh god. No. I made comment. Alright, let's see. So configure terminal and that. So we're gonna see if I can G1 no IP address DHCP. Okay, so we get rid of the IP. Shut, right? G1 IP address DHCP. No shut. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, nothing yet. Let's shut down the other side. Shut, no shut. Let's see what happens. Okay, got an IP. Should have seen that. I'm not. Why is the not triggering? Why is it not triggering? What am I doing? Let me see something. Yeah. Oh, pattern. Did I have pattern in there? Yeah, I do. Events is log pattern. Events is log pattern. Yeah, that should have worked. We're gonna have to debug this. Let's see what I'm seeing wrong here. Okay, let's try again one more time. I'm gonna shut the other side again. Okay, and then we don't say G1 no IP address DHCP. Okay. I'm gonna say shut. IP address DHCP, no shut. Then we'll go over here and we'll say no shut. I want to say logging console debugging because I want to see some stuff. I want to see it get an IP. Alright, state up. I should see an IP, right? Okay, initializing. Oh, saying something. CTL close fail. Interesting. Let me see what happened here. Let's go back. Enable configure terminal, copy. Oh, why? This copy TFTP. Really? He didn't like the command. So he did start. He just didn't like the command. Let me see. Oh. We're supposed to do this. Yeah, I was in the wrong command scheme. Okay. Let's turn this off. Okay. Let's go into this event and let's try it again. We'll get it eventually. So we're gonna say no action 1.1. Okay. Now I should have only 2 actions. Event. Right. I should have that and that. That should work, right? So let's do this again. And it's good that we're making those mistakes right now. Right. Then when I say IP address DHCP, no shut. Okay, we shouldn't have an IP, right? Okay, perfect. We'll go back here. I'm gonna say shut, no shut. Trying to trigger. Okay, let's see what happens though. Let's debug. Well, not debug. I'm sure this is gonna work. What was it again? The debug command. It would this. Let's see what is this. We'll see. Oh, there you go. He's got an IP. Well, we might not have to debug. Let's see. Paste. Maybe. Let's see. Okay. What did it say? Auto config debug CLI closed. It's not going through its dev sequence. Ooh. What happened? I'm not seeing anything here. Let me see if I can ping 192.168.115. Maybe I can't. Oh, I can. Why? Okay. Let's try getting it. Let's try that again. Okay, let's see what happens. We have let's see if it comes back up. Yeah, up. Let's see if it gets that IP. Okay. See if it pulls one from the HTTP. I think we have the debug enable. I want to see why it failed this time, right? So we got an IP, router enable, copy TFTP. Oh, you know what? We gotta put the password. My God, I think we have to put the password in there because it won't respond if I don't do that, right? So I'll show you guys how to do this. Of course, it's not gonna work. Okay. You know, generally you would do this via DHCP, right? In this case, we're not doing that via DHCP, so that might be a little more difficult or not secure, right? So let's do. I'll show you guys how to do this. It's good that we had the debug running, right? So what you do is you do a colon and you put the password, right? And then the rest, practically. Let me make sure that I have this right. Action 1.2 Cisco Yep. So now if you look at the event, right, you will see this is the username, the password. In principle, that should work. Okay, so let's try it again. Okay, let's see if the, I don't think the, yeah, the IP doesn't. No IP address DHCP. Okay, IP address DHCP. So you see how no shut, how unsecure this would be, right? Because the password will be in there in your configuration. So it could be a one-time password, and then once you're done, you can reset this password really. So hopefully this would work. I think it would. I don't know. I hope it does. Let me see over there if there is anything. Maybe I need to save the key. I don't know. I have no idea. Show debug. That'll suck if that doesn't work. Yeah, it didn't. Let's try let me see if I can. Let's go 1, 2, 3. I think I have another way to do this. That's gonna be funny. If that doesn't work, right? I'm gonna delete the file when we're done, so don't worry. Running config. Let me see if I have this match under flash config file, maybe. Yeah, so it matches. Let's see if that works. Oh, he did copy. Interesting. No, he did not. Let me see if he did. Yeah, he did. He did copy. So why did this not work, right? See, it did work. Unfortunately, it did for us. Did it take the config though? I don't think it did. What was this error that I've got? Unexpected end of configuration file. Let me see. When I do config, is it? Let me see. What was it again? Config transaction, maybe. Config transaction. Do I have to be in? Hold on. Let me see if I can. Config config transaction. No. Config transaction. I wonder why can't I convert this 8000? You know what? Oh my god, what did I do? I quit. Hold on 1 second. Interesting. Okay. No. Let me search this. Does it have to be a specific version? Oh, okay, that's a bit different. Controller mode enable. Well, and then you have to do config transaction. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And then this is where you can drop your configuration. Yeah, speaking of which, I forgot to set up the system configuration within that config. That's okay, that's perfect. That, you know, we're looking at this right now. Because it won't be any different from the other ones, except when you start configuring the interfaces. Yeah. Well. Let's restart this, okay? So, I hate to do this, but I may have to there flash config file. Do I have one? Let me see. No, I don't have one. Yeah, I don't have none of that. Let's see. Yep, let's start this again. I'm going to change things a bit. Yeah. Let's see my config file. Yeah, so we have to do the controller mode enable. Then you gotta go in config transaction. We gotta do system. Let's grab that too. Let's go to DNS and remove this interface that we're gonna say delete with flash or flash config file. Let's remove it. Yes. Okay. We're gonna try this again. Controller mode. Let's go to the VH headquarter capture. Show run system. I'm gonna grab this. Right. Okay, let's just do this. Okay, we're gonna change this information to CH 04. What about that? We're gonna change this to 12 and this is 400. We need the organization name, time, vbond. We need that information. Those are critical. So I'm gonna do this, right? What else do we need? We need the NTP configuration, right? We're just gonna grab this as is. Okay. Alright, so take that, we're gonna do a commit here, and then we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do another commit. let's go, actually, let's go here, commit, should take all that, then we'll configure everything else. So we're gonna do a save. I think that's all I needed. And then we'll push it again, right? Let's do this. Let's move that up here. I'm gonna minimize my text file. Then we'll try it again one more time. Arrow up. Yes. Let's go 1, 2, 3. And file is copied. Perfect. We're done with that. All right. Let's go back to our SD-WAN window. Okay. We'll go back to. Let's close this. We don't need 3. Let's go back here. Is this CH3? I think it is. Oops. Edge 1, CH3. Yes, that's correct. So what we'll do is, I don't want to stop it again because that's going to take us some time again to restart and all that. But what I'll do is, we're going to try it one more time. No shut. Actually, no IP address DHCP. Oh, it did copy it. That's fine. We're gonna do no IP address shut. IP address DHCP no shut. Okay. Let's see. Hopefully it still got the event. Yeah, it does. Let's see what happens. You have to debug. Yep, I still do. Yep, I have it. So let's see. I have a debug on here too. I don't know why it's not showing. Should show anytime soon, right? Because earlier you worked. It's just. No, it didn't, because we had to actually navigate. Let's do this differently. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with archive command. So we'll set the archive. Let me show you how to do this. Log config, I believe, and then we're gonna say hi keys, right? We're gonna go back here. We're gonna say maximum 3, and then path. We're gonna say path. I think this is where you can say TFTP, and then you can say admin Cisco 123, right? And then I believe it's at 192.168.1.15, and this is where you drop the file. We can do it this way. Max 3. Can I set maximum? Didn't I? Oh, yeah, of course, because we're not backing up to the local drive. So let's see what we have. Okay, so we're gonna do log config enable. What is it? Logging. Oh, logging. What is this? Enable, right? We're gonna do high keys. We're gonna get out of the max. Sorry, I don't think we can. That's never gonna work. Let's see. Section. Archive. I was thinking about something, but let's see. Okay, I think that should do. And then let's look my event again. So we're gonna change the action to. Right. We're gonna say no action 1.2. We're gonna say action 1.1 CLI command, and then let's open close. We're gonna say configure. I think it's revert. Let me see before I do all this. Configure, revert now. Yeah, let's try that. And you should, in principle, reach out to action 1.1 CLI command configure revert now. So so what's gonna happen is it's gonna do a configure revert now, and it's gonna go to this path and grab this file. Hopefully that's gonna work. If not, then we'll have to explore the DHCP server, because the reason why it didn't work before, I had to press enter and enter multiple times, right? Once you do copy TFTP to running config, right, it would tell you, you know, you will bypass the password. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. You will bypass the password, and it would say, hey, continue, press enter, and then because we already did a password, we put the password. At this point, it's no longer a password issue, right? It's more like a, hey, press next. Now, let me see if on the EM you can have a press next, right? Let me see if I was to do this and I do that. Would I take? Okay, it would. No such file or directory. So I guess why it says error opening system, no such file or directory. Why? Oh, yeah, that's probably another thing that needs to be boot flash. And then when I say config file, okay guys, I think I know how to do this. Well, I want to do with the archive, but first let's do this with the actual event manager using TFTP, right? So let me go back in there. I think I have an idea. No action 1.1, right? We'll try this first. 1.2, right? CLI command, right? And then we'll do this. Okay. No, I didn't get that right. Where's my where is it? Let's go back up and grab it. This is what I wanted. Paste, right? And then we'll say boot flash, right? Config file. Okay. And then we'll do another action 1.2, and then we're going to say CLI command, right? And then we'll do that. Remember, that will get us past the next step, right? When he asks you where, right? This is a boot flash. And then we're gonna say action 1.3 CLI command, and then we'll say copy boot flash, right? Config file. Hopefully that's gonna take running configuration config. Okay. Let's see now what it is. Okay, so what happened? Why didn't it take 1.1? I don't get it. What did I do? Copy, paste. Action 1.1, right? CLI command. Why didn't it take that? Copy TFTP admin Cisco 123 at 192.168.1.15, right? Config file to boot flash config file. Okay, Interesting. I don't know why it didn't take the first time. Okay, so we're doing enable. We're copying this. Then we're going to press that to go to the next step. And then once that's done, we're going to say copy boot flash config file to running config. Right? Let's hope that works. Okay. So we're going to do, oops, interface G1 shut. Oops, shut. Do show run interface G1. Okay, no IP address DHCP. IP address DHCP. Hold on. Do show IP interface per G1. I want to make sure it's gone. IP address DHCP. No shut. Okay, let's try that again. Show debug. It's still enable. Show debug. Still enable. Perfect. Let's see what happens. Okay, stayed up. Let's see if he pulls an IP address. Okay, got an IP address. Okay, looks like I'm not saying it's not pulling, it's not working. Not going to get 2 squares. I don't get it. Okay, so that's not gonna work. I was hoping that would work. Let's try the archive. If that doesn't work also, then we're out of luck, or I may have to rethink how to do this. Okay, so let's try this. Okay, we're gonna do no action 1.1, no action 1.2, no action 1.3, right? But we're gonna go back 1.1 CLI command. Let's try configure revert now. Okay, so let's see what happened here. Alright, let's try one more time. Okay, normally should be able to revert. What happened? Man, no rollback confirmed, change pending. CLI close fail. That's funny. I thought this was going on. Let me try configure right now. No rollback. Right. So if I write this config, it's gonna send it to that DHCP server. Let's try. Right. Okay. Let me see if it did send it. Probably did. If I do more, it probably will wipe my file. It did. I'm sure it did. Oh, it's flash. I'm gonna trick it, right? Let's see. No, it didn't write my file, did it? What was the config? I called the config file. Why did it do it? Successfully encrypted private config file. Did it? Interesting. Oh, you gotta say write, right? Upon write memory, it would create a file. So if I do write, it should go back and replace the file that I had sent there. It should, technically. So I should see something here, right? So boom, you see that? Oh, sending error, access denied. Why? Access denied. Oh, but that wouldn't matter, right? Because we're doing TFTP. Maybe I might have to enable TFTP, do I? Source interface. Let's do G01. Because he might have used the other IP address, the 6145, right? Let's try again. I wonder if this is a little bit too much. Access denied. Why? Cisco 123 admin. I don't get it. Maybe the file. I need to change the name of the file. Let me see if I can, because it's not overriding. Maybe delete flash config file. Maybe. Yes. Yes. Let's try again. Right. Sending error to access deny. I'm confused now. That shouldn't be denied. That shouldn't be denied. Doesn't make sense to me. Let me SSH from here. Or let's do a TFTP. You know, SSH, what about that? Admin. Cisco 123. Oh boy. 23. Yeah, I'm in there. Why is it failing? Doesn't make sense to me. Let's try SCP. Path. Let's do SCP admin at 192.168.1.15 config file. Okay. Right. Let's see. That should work. There's the file. Only thing I don't like is it added a date to it. He was able to send the file, but I don't want that date in there. Man, how do I tell it not to do a date? Okay, let's try it again. Let's see. Let's just do H. No, that's not it. It's a $sign H, right? Okay, let's try again. Yeah, it's adding this it's adding the time. You know what? It's okay. Let's delete this. Yeah, let's try again. Let me replace this by, guess when I think it's gonna do a star. It's gonna start that stuff. So path SCP, I'm gonna do config file. That's okay. Alright, that's fine. So let's send it over again. I'm gonna SCP this configuration again. Let's do that. And then Cisco 123. That's perfectly fine. And then further, this should have a, oops, not from here. This one should have a config file. Right. I'm gonna copy flash config file to flash config. Yeah, boom. See what happens now. I have a feeling this is gonna work. Okay, hopefully it doesn't do a integrity check before it rolls back the config. If it does, then we might have to change game plan to be oops, to use the HTTP and feed the IP. I mean, that's okay too. I mean, let's shut. Only thing I don't like is this is a really long video. I was hoping to make this quicker. Okay. Got an IP. No rollback config change pending. Oh, no. CLI close. Why? Going through its death sequence. Why it's not reverting? Configure revert now. Oh wow. Let me write this and then try this configuration. Maybe it's broken. Okay, configure revert now. No rollback pending. Am I using the configure revert timer? 20 seconds. No. Still 1 minute. You gotta be kidding me. Let me think about this. No rollback changing. What am I missing? Alright, so did I enter the wrong command? Okay, let me try this. Configure terminal revert timer 1. Change is already activated. Okay, configure confirm. Right. And then we're going to turn off the change. Okay, so I think that I may have to change my event manager again. Event manager applet auto config, right? We're gonna do no action 1.1 and then action 1.1 CLI command configure terminal revert timer. We're gonna do 1 minute, and let's hopefully we got this right now. It shouldn't be this difficult, right? Now we have multiple, so we're gonna do delete with flash, right? We're gonna delete we're gonna delete these, right? Yeah, we're gonna delete 4. Well, that doesn't exist. We're gonna delete, let's just delete everything, right? And I'm gonna do one config. Yep. Then we're gonna do it there. I should have nothing now, so I'm gonna send back the config file. Alright, and then what I'll do is I'm gonna write on here, so you should save a config there. And then let's verify that I have something new. Yeah, I do. I'm gonna copy config file to flash config file. Alright, done. Now let's try again. We're gonna go back to ch3. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do we're gonna shut the interface like we did earlier. Oops, I think I'm not showing the video, so let me minimize this. There we go. So basically what I've done, because I think I pushed the config from my machine to this server, so I'm under config file, and then I wrote this file again one more time, and I did a alright, what I did is within my event manager, instead of doing configure terminal revert now, right, we did configure revert timer 1. So I was missing this terminal, so we're gonna give it about a minute. Or you know what, I think that it should work if I was to do event manager applet auto config, right, and then no action 1.1. we can go back and then just do a revert now, right, instead of, you know, that should take, I believe, that should work. Alright, so what I was doing practically was oh my god, so what I was doing was I was doing configure revert now. That wouldn't work, right? Configure terminal revert now will be the cue for me to roll back my config. Okay, IP address, DHCP, no shut. Now let's see what happens. Let's clear the screen. Hopefully that's gonna work. Okay, let's see if we're getting an IP and see the, okay. Oh my god, he didn't like that too. He didn't like the revert now. So let's change that. Let's copy this. What we'll do is we'll attempt one more time. Okay. No action 1.1, action 1.1, CLI comment. I don't think we've accomplished what we wanted to do, but I will next video once we make this work. Next video, what I'll do is I'll use a DHCP server, because obviously that's we're gonna feed a file, a boot file or a file via DHCP. Okay, and I'm in hope that this is gonna work, right? This is one example to do it. I don't even know if the configuration is gonna work, because we added another element. If you guys remember, we added the controller mode enable. I hope that's gonna do it and automatically configure our box, but let's see if it's got an IP yet. Apparently not. I may have to bounce the port on the other side. Let me see. Let's give it another. Alright, let's go back here. I'll stage myself. Nothing. Okay. Shut. No shut. Hopefully that's gonna do it. Oh. Of course. It's not gonna work. There. Came up, but it didn't. Okay, it's got an IP. Alright. It didn't like that either. Why? Configure, terminal, revert, timer. Oh my god. Okay, 1. Yes, 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 yes. Alright, one more time before we end this video. If this doesn't work, we'll end the video, and then we'll try another time using DHCP to send the action 1.1. I should have known. Okay, let's try one more time. We kind of cheated earlier, because what we did is we'll replace my config file. We'll copy the information in here, inside here. Now, if this was doing an integrity check, because I mean, obviously that wouldn't work, right? I don't know if he does. If he doesn't, it's sad, because I hope this doesn't work, because I could, if I get access to, it wouldn't be so secure, right? It would not be secure if this worked, but you know, anyhow, TFTP itself is not secure, but we're using SCP in this case, right? We're not using TFTP. So if that works, I mean, at least not on a configuration standpoint, but being able to pull this file. Okay. Oh yeah, there he took. He literally took. Rollback config, backing up current configuration. It did work, but now did it? Let me see. Okay, let's do more. Oops. Config. Show running config. I don't think that didn't work. Don't think that worked. It did, but it didn't convert the CH. Let me convert it. Let's see what happened. Oh, what's going on? Oh, we said 1 minute, right? So it just kicked in. Okay, it did the SCP, just kicked in. Archive det5 rollback command rollback start rolling to. Okay. Total number passed done. Rollback done. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Nothing happened. Let me see if I ever copy. I mean, why it's not? Oh, I know what he does before he roll back. Think about this. Alright, let's see what happens. Why do I have another configuration here? That was not my intent. I wonder if when you tell it to go back, it saved the configuration before it rolls back. And why it does that, I don't know. I think maybe that's how it prevents the but what about if I didn't want to save the configuration, I wanted to roll back? I mean, can I roll back to a specific version of the file, a specific config? Let me see if I can. Let me copy this guy right here. Not that one. This one is the one I care for. Let me see if I can roll back to that. Configure terminal revert. Let me see what my timer one. No. If I was to do that, would it? Let me see what happened here. Ten 17 54 87. Ah, isn't that the latest one? It was this one. Yeah, it was this one, 7. Yeah. Yeah. Let's try again. Let me copy this. It's flash. I keep thinking boot flash, right? Okay. So this is the latest. Let's try again. Making this work in a lab environment is a little bit difficult. It's a little tougher, right? I think I'm trying to find a way, a hack to make this work, right? And I should just use the HTTP for this, and I'll just do that. Why not? I'll see if the vmanage. I'll try to see if the vmanage can provide a config. Alright, then it did work. So it looks like it saved the config before it rolls back. So this is the there's gotta be a way to roll back to an older config instead of just I'm not doing this right. Let me see, configure, replace. Let's do that one. I'm not doing this right. Let's do this within the event. Yeah, roll back to that config. That's not gonna do me any good. Let me see. Let's try configure replace. Configure replace. Let's try that. We'll wipe the box, but let's try that. So we're replacing. Yeah, that's right. We're doing it right. Then I'm gonna replace it with that. Let's say enter yes, Y. Okay, let's see what happens. See if this works, right? The input file is not valid file, config file. Really? So there's gotta be integrity check here. Yeah, there's an integrity check, which is, it's not a bad thing, right? Now, maybe we may have to convert this before we push the config. That's what I'm thinking, right? Let me try that. Controller mode enable. Let's convert it, right? Confirm. Let's do that. What about we do that? Do you want to abort? No. Okay, it's gonna reload, and I think we're gonna try a different method to make this work. Okay, so I'm gonna end this video on this note. I'm gonna use a different way to, because I mean, let's say you ship the box already. I mean, if it's not converted, then you convert it, but once you convert it remotely, then what? You lose access to the site, right? There's gotta be a way to, I mean, there is a different way you can use Cisco to, pull config from, you can register your controller automatically, right? To go to Cisco in order to pull its configuration, because Cisco does have a cloud, I think, services that you can utilize, and we'll try to figure out another method to do this. Yeah, but anyways, thanks for watching. I will continue with the part 3 for this of this series, right? And you know we've tried a few things, and I like to try different things and see if I can make it work. I mean, um, if you watch this video, I hope you get something out of that. Thank you for watching.